Another month of development has passed. We now have some new features in the game. Instead of the usual summary of the updates, we will have an in-depth look into some of the more interesting features. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at the comparison between the old and the new AI. On the left, you can see the old skeleton. It has only one collider, which is used for both gravity and weapon collision from the player. On the right is the new skeleton. In addition to the capsule collider that is used for the gravity, it has a collider for each body part. It also has a collider for the sword. Using these new colliders, we have a pretty good ragdoll system and realistic bone movement. The pathfinding towards the player has been improved. There are now two systems. The one that you see right now draws cubes around the skeleton and computes the closest path to the player. It's fully dynamic and triggers once a second for performance reasons. The animations themselves are still pretty basic. The skeleton still has only one attack that is being used based on the attack speed variable. The difference is obvious when you compare it to the more advanced blend tree of the player animator. Next we'll look at how the forging with a hammer works. I've split the chestplate armor into 8 different pieces. Each piece requires a demonite ingot. After the ingot is placed, we can hammer it to change the shape. At the unity end, we use the same model and we supplement it with scripts. I've added a few different flags so we know what kind of part we're currently doing. After the final part is completed, the craft is also complete and a grabbable model of the armor is spawned. Sewing works much like the hammer forging. The difference here is that we use a needle instead of a hammer. There is also another script that looks at the position of the needle. There are 3 conditions in total. First, the needle should point downwards when going near the sewing part. Then, it must touch the part. Finally, it must point upwards to complete the part. This is how the model looks like with all the parts and the additional sphere colliders used for the 3 conditions we just went through. At the beginning I used a lava shader. It was fine and highly customizable thanks to Unity's shader graph system. But I had to find a way to know if the player is in the lava or not. The thing is, shaders are only visual. You can't raycast your way out of this. So the way I tried to do this is by using the same logic in the shader but translate it into actual C# code. However, that didn't work. The calculations just weren't precise. So instead of a shader, now I just use a script that tells the lava mesh vertices to change based on the same shader logic. This time I'm using the same code for generation and position check, so it's accurate. The drawback of this is decreased performance by 5 milliseconds. This is all for this devlog. Thank you for watching. If you have any ideas or just want to chat, come join our active Discord server. Link will be in the description.